Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. As always, bring you guys awesome interviews, and today it is an honor and privilege to have the vocalist of Heat of Damage on the line with me right now, Mr. David Haug. Going to be talking to him about Heat of Damage's new music video called Judgment Day, and we're going to jump in and talk about their debut album, Open Fire, that's out now. So, David, how's it going?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Doing awesome. Glad to have you on the show. Glad to have you on here to talk about Heat of Damage's stuff that's going on right now, plus the new video, plus your debut album. So let's talk about this video that you guys have out, Judgment Day. What was it that led you guys to this song to be picked as a music video?
We chose Judgment Day to be the music video representing the album Open Fire, really because it was the first one that we put out, the first single we put out before Open Fire as an album came out. And so we felt that because it was everyone's first exposure to the new record, we felt that like having a video with it as well would kind of add another layer of interest in the record as a whole.
Also, too, how was working on this music video? How was making it? And plus, you know, the lyrics from the song obviously talks about getting done crappy by people. And that's happened to me, too. So I'm glad that somebody's out there standing up and making a video on this. So how was working on this video?
Working on the video came pretty easy. The production for Judgment Day was done actually by kind of in a ragtag method. We were playing a show at Ace of Spades in Sacramento, and we had GoPros and professional cameras in many places throughout the venue that just recorded us performing the song to the same tempo that it was recorded at. We sent it to our good friend Matt Thomas, who threw it together, made a really rad video out of it. And then that's like punctuated by video of us just having a fun time out in Sacramento, just kind of doing stupid stuff.
Let's jump right into the debut album. What's impressed you about making this new album? What's caught your eye about it, if anything, David?
Writing the record came naturally in the sense, you know, we wanted to have a quality collection of songs, but we didn't want to write a bunch of songs for the sake of an album. We wanted to have, you know, everything come as it did instead of kind of rushed. Once we felt happy with the material, we went into the studio, and the advantage of having everything written ahead of time is it's a very short studio process because you have everything ready to go, and we jammed it out, and this Open Fire is how it is.
How was working with producer Matt Thomas on this album?
Matt was great. Matt was fantastic. We were happy with, especially being our first full length, we were really happy with the experience. He was a really transparent producer in the sense that he was always suggesting things to us. He was always telling us about what fixes or things he would do here and there in between either takes or kind of final mixes and everything. And so we were really involved with everything he did. It was great.
Now, did he let you guys just do your own thing, and then he'd step in and say, "Hey, look, I think you guys should try this"? How'd that go about?
Yeah, it was basically exactly what you said. He was an engineer, of course, in the sense that we came in with a product. He wanted to record it for us, and we recorded it the way that we had written it. But then, because he's a musician himself, he would throw in some insights, some ideas. You know, he would help craft it a little bit as the studio process went on, and it ended up being as it is today. And we think everything went fantastic.
Are there any songs off the Open Fire album that stand out more to you than any on it, if possible? I know it's kind of hard, you know, kind of like picking your own child, but you know, but are there any that stand out to you, possibly?
Fade Away, I think. I'll talk a little bit about Fade Away, track 4. That one is a personal favorite of mine because it is everything in terms of kind of what we do, because it's not just a fast, heavy song. It's not just a slow song. It has elements of everything. You know, we have the soft acoustics and then just some really gnarly screams and everything. It's one of my favorite as it's written pieces on that record.
How much growth musically have you seen yourself and this band go through up to the release of this new album? I mean, you guys got some EPs out, and you guys are a fairly new band. But how much music growth have you seen yourself and this band go through?
Oh, a lot. We've matured as people, as musicians, as professionals, everything just in the short couple of years that we've been together. You know, writing more what's true to us, writing more just in the sense of what we want to hear, improving on kind of like the novice moves, especially with recording, I'd say. Now, our first EP was actually recorded in our drummer's garage, and then just realizing the the importance of professionally recording and the investment in that.
Oh yeah, tremendously. You go from like a garage recording to, in a studio. That's that's that 360-degree change, man.
Oh, big time, my man. It makes all the difference in the world.
Oh yeah, but it's still though, you gotta love those garage demos. You gotta love them though.
Oh yeah, while we can look back and kind of make fun of it, be like, oh my god, I can't believe we released that. It's really important for your career. You have to be at that point and just record stuff and be proud of it and play it and get better from there.
Do you guys do anything differently during the writing and recording process nowadays? Change it up a little bit different to help keep your minds open and fresh and not let, the music get stale? Because I know sometimes it can, but what do you guys do?
Well, the writing, we kind of don't have like a preconceived wrong answer, if you get what I'm saying, where like any one of us can bring an idea to the table when we're sitting down, when we're writing, when we're jamming together, and never once does someone, like for example Nick, our guitar player, he can play something and never once will you hear, no, that's not us, something like that. Like all ideas have merit. We work with them, determine if they're appropriate for what we're feeling at that time, and they go from there.
What do you hope your fans and new fans take away from the new album once they start to listen to it, or just Heat of Damage's music in general?
Oh God, I'm trying to bridge the issue between like philosophical and just purely musical.
I have stumped David.
I'd say that I hope people can take away that music has no limit. I hope that they can take away that there's no limit in terms of like pigeonholing your band. You can be like, oh, we're a rock band, but if you want to write like a gnarly blues piece, go for it. Don't limit yourself. Don't go into any creative process with boundaries, because then it won't be as true, if you get what I'm saying.
So what can folks expect at a show from Heat of Damage once they come out to see you guys live?
I am really proud of our live shows, man. The band is as a whole, because that's where everything comes together. That's where you can play your music. That's when you can have the brand with your merchandise. That's when you can really interact with fans and get feedback instantly. The live show is really important to us, and I think that people will have a great time if they go to one. Like, you can expect engagement. We think of shows as something you do like with an audience, not something you do to. It's not we're performing, you watch. It's like the shows don't happen without the audience. Mm-hmm. They're not the same, and so we try to engage with as many people both on and off the stage as possible, especially at kind of intimate venues. Like if there's only a couple people there, we want to introduce ourselves to as many people as we can, bring in as many people to the show as we can, and that's me as a singer, like making eye contact with as many people as possible, like asking people questions, and then the music, we practice for, solidness, solidity. We make sure that the music is solid, that we put on just stellar performance of the music, and then just have fun. The energy is incredible.
But being a fairly young band, though, does it frustrate you when you don't see a lot of folks out in the crowd at these live shows, though? I mean, does it kind of frustrate you guys?
Seeing empty shows is a whole different animal. I mean, it is kind of odd because when you do kind of depend on the energy and there's just not a lot of people there to grow that energy with, it's a really odd dynamic and frustrating from a sense that, you wish you could share it with as many people as possible, but we make it happen. We make it work.
Because, I think people are really missing out, and there's times I can't get to shows. I wish I could get to a lot of shows, but for folks that actually have venues that are very close to them, to me, if you love music as much as me and you do, there's no excuse. No excuse. It's right there. Get off your ass and go.
Yeah, I think if you're into music, like that's where it is. That's your local scene. That's where everything grows from. I think it would be great to see a renaissance of that loyalty to music scenes from even just kind of you're like Joe Schmo listener, not even like devoted musicians, but just anyone who's into music.
We're in a digital era of recording albums and plus social media. Do you guys like this, being in this era, to get music out quicker, to get a bigger fan base and things like that? Have you seen it help you guys?
I think nowadays, it is prime time to be a musician because of that online dependence that a lot of people have. While it does drive down numbers like record sales or something like that, like individual album copies sold, what it does is it extends our reach far beyond anywhere that we could have been as a local band, say, like 20 years ago. For example, like Spotify allows you to see where people are listening when you have an artist profile. And we can see where, like, somebody who read about us in an article in Germany or the United Kingdom is listening to our stuff. And so the reach that you are capable of, even as a local band, because of the online stuff, is infinite. And then Spotify and iTunes and Google and all the things make your music readily available to just about anyone who looks it up.
Support-wise, David, is there a country or region that stands out more or surprises you? You get support from that area.
There are two that I can think of immediately. Our drummer is from Toledo, Ohio, Julian. He's from Ohio, and so we have family and friends of his from when he lived there that really like our stuff. So when we analyze our online presence, we notice a lot of interaction from Ohio. So shout out to the Ohio people. That's really, really cool to see. And internationally, Germany probably. In fact, I'm marrying a girl from Germany, and the friends she has in Germany are into our stuff that she tells us about. So it's kind of cool to see that of all the countries overseas, that Germany is picking up Heat of Damage a little bit.
Oh, I'm going to say this right now here on the show, and I'm kind of glad you said that, because there has been a lot of bands that have said Germany has listened to a lot of U.S. bands, and that blows my mind. And the reason is because they eat, breathe, and sleep metal music over there. They do.
Oh, yeah. The Germans are awesome, dude. Germany kicks ass with metal.
Yeah, that's the reason why Germany loves David Hasselhoff. Look at it.
Right? Yeah. You know, and their festival lineups, just those alone are mind-boggling, and they have so many big ones. You know,
yeah.
They have, Rock im Park, Rock am Ring, Wacken. They have all of those just huge metal festivals that always have some crazy big headliner. Like, I think, was it Iron Maiden that played Wacken at the last Wacken? I mean, it's huge, and it never fails to be amazing.
And the coolest thing that I see online, and plus when they, air it live on TV in the UK, dude, you can strike a chord, and they'll sing the rest of it. You just stand there. That's it. That's all you have to do. They'll sing the rest of it.
They're devoted. European metal fans, and especially German metal fans, are just devoted to the genre. It's beautiful.
So in your own opinion, David, what does Heat of Damage bring to the table for music that's not out there right now?
I think Heat of Damage brings our own brand of uniqueness to the genre that we love. We're a metal band, or like traditionally described as like a hard rock metal band. But as I was saying before, in our writing process, we really don't limit ourselves, and so therefore the products we deliver, the songs we deliver, aren't limited either. But for example, if you listen to the record, we have a song called Little Miss Hill that's total like country metal, but then track 9, The Greeting Party, is super thrashy. Mm-hmm. We have a ton of diversity in our music.
So a little diversity.
I think that's what the part.
I think that's awesome. You have to have an album full of diversity these days. You can't go 1,000 miles an hour on every song. You can, but it's going to be a little stale. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. We love that. Don't get me wrong.
Well, sure.
We just don't, recycle it.
Well, sure. As of right now, any show or moment that stands out more to you, possibly being in Heat of Damage that you guys have had?
Top two, I would really throw off my head. One was a little bit ago, and one was really recent. The one a while ago was we got the privilege of opening for Trivium when they came to Sacramento, and that was a huge milestone for us, playing with such a reputable, successful band, and introducing our music to their crowd and getting to meet them and everything. That was unbelievable. It's what every little kid dreams of, opening for a big band like that. And so that was unbelievably important. And recently, just last month, actually, we were invited to play Ace of Spades, a local venue here in Sacramento, run by Live Nation. We were asked to play this benefit show for NAMI, called the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It was a benefit show for them in honor of Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, because they had just passed away. Right. So it was this lineup of 4 bands and some acoustic acts, intermittent with speakers from the organization, playing original stuff and Linkin Park and like Audioslave Soundgarden covers. And that was a really cool event to be a part of. What
made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, man?
For me personally? Mm-hmm. Let's see. I mean, I've always been like into rock. When I was a little kid, people would ask me like, what's your favorite kind of music? I'd say rock. But Metallica really got me into like heavy stuff, I was a kid, and I think Death Magnetic had just come out, and some more Metallica was being played on the radio, and I was like, "Whoa, this is my stuff." And I wanted to learn guitar. My grandparents got me a guitar for Christmas when I was 12, and so I started learning on that, and that was fun. I was like, "Oh, this could be cool," playing to like my friends' family and everything, and I thought it was a fun thing to do. But then performing, I saw Iron Maiden live when I was 12, and I was like, "Holy shit, I want to be like them." I thought they were just so good and so cool, looking like they were having so much fun. I was like, that looks like an amazing time. I want to do that too. And so from that point on, I wanted to be like a performing professional musician.
Yeah, when you hear Metallica, I mean, it's a whirlwind of what the hell.
Metallica will stand the test of time, man.
Oh, yeah.
Immortal.
Master of Puppets. No, was it Master of Puppets? I think it might have been Leopard Messiah. Yeah, it was Leopard Messiah that got me into, actually, Metallica. Plus, then they had the battle out with Guns N' Roses on the top 10 countdown. That shows you how old I am. On MTV, when MTV was good. One had just came out, and they were battling Guns N' Roses' Patience for the number one spot. And I was like, I was a big GNR fan. Don't get me wrong. I love GNR still this day. But when you're a kid, in about 7th, 8th grade, things start happening in your life, and then you see Metallica come on. It's like, God, they just kicked that ass. It's like, yeah, that's what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Here's $1 million question for you. If you could work with any musician that's passed or still alive today, or any band that's broken up you want to bring back together for a couple of days, who would you choose?
Oh, God. Oh, man. It's a good thing this isn't live, man. This would be the longest pause in the history of thoughtful pauses.
We can insert some Jeopardy music there.
That might help, man. Oh, man. It's just there's so many. And, my band and myself were all inspired by so many different people, and different bands. Oh, if I could work with one, living musician, I personally would love to sit down with Steve Harris. If you couldn't guess so far, Iron Maiden is like one of my favorite bands. I think Steve Harris is one of the greatest songwriters of our time, and I think he writes about really substantive stuff. I think it would be really cool to pick his brain musically and creatively. Past musician. As a frontman, I'd have to go with like a guy maybe like Jim Morrison. There's like the greats, the ultimate frontmen that have graced stages and stuff, and just learn from them just the ways that they engage crowds and the way that they totally just rock that front role to ensure that everyone has a good time and the band's performing well and everything, making sure that show's really engaging and memorable. In a past band, I would love to have seen Metallica with Cliff Burton.
Yes, sir.
That I'm going to hedge the issue on that one because they're still a functioning band, but just that ultimate original lineup, I think, would be incredible to see.
Yeah. A lot of people give...
The Hendrix of bass, as they call him,
Yeah, a lot of people give Metallica crap about doing instrumentals, but think about it, folks. If you go back and you listen to Master of Puppets album, you listen to Ride the Lightning album, they had some instrumentals on these albums, and that came from Cliff.
Yeah, that dude was a composer.
Yes,
not
sir.
Not just a metal musician, he was a composer.
Yep, Cliff was a classical guy. He wanted to do instrumental stuff, and I thought they did some badass instrumentals. Orion is...
Well, he nailed Anesthesia in one take?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
No. And when you watch him play Anesthesia live, it's like, my God, it takes your breath away.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get music like me and David does, you'll understand what we're talking about, because it's just it's one of the best drugs that's out there is music. That's plain and simple. Plain and simple, folks.
Couldn't agree more.
Let's talk about this a little bit. Have you guys ever received an email from a fan, or prior to the shows or after your shows, they tell you that Heat of Damage music has helped them, or, it's just led them to, overcome some obstacles or get away from the everyday bullcrap that we go through just to listen to your music? If that's happened, what's that mean to you guys?
Oh, it means the world. It's, we feel that way about the artists that we look up to and everything, and then to kind of be on the other side of that, it's indescribable, and you just want to thank that person for listening to the music in and of itself, but then at the same time, it's like that impact that it has on them. Sometimes I really don't know what to say to these people, but it's just, I just want to be there with them. I want to talk to them about it, and,
I just like to say thank you guys for your music. Thank you guys for being a young band that has a new breath of fresh air to you guys that are out there, kicking ass and going through all this, because it's not easy to
We
be.
appreciate it, man. It's what we're meant for.
How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, buy this new EP, or not EP, I'm sorry, full album, plus you got some EPs out there? How can he do that, David?
Just about everywhere. Online, you can find us at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those social media sites. Our music's available on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Pandora, and our website, heatofdamage.com, has all of our merch. We have the online shop. That's all available online, one click away.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
This is David Haug for Heat of Damage, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. I would like to ask again, all my metal brothers and sisters, please keep the folks in your thoughts and prayers, and send them good vibes to Texas, the Caribbeans, Florida, from these devastating hurricanes. Like I've always said, you can replace materialistic things, lives you cannot. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thanks, David.
Absolutely. Thank you.